Hello children, welcome back to the maths class. Today we are going to study about indices or exponents. You have already studied the concept in the earlier class. So continuation to that, we are going to study some new concepts based on exponents. Let's get started. We know that a multiplied by a is written as a square and a multiplied by a multiplied by a is written as a cube. And if you multiply a n times, that is a multiplied by a multiplied by a up to n times, this can be written as a raised to the power n, where a is any real number and n is a natural number. Over here we say that a is called the base and n is called the exponent or index. If a is greater than 0 and a is not equal to 1, a raised to the power n is an exponent of a and it is read as exponential of a. Now we are going to study about law of indices, which you have already studied in the earlier classes. So making you revise once again, we have the very first thing that we are going to study over here is, we say if a and b are real numbers, both greater than equal to 0 and not equal to 1, and m and n are real numbers, then the following properties hold true. What is the first property? A raised to the power m multiplied by a raised to the power n. Over here we see the base is same in both the terms, the power is different and the terms are multiplied with each other. So the property says if the base is same and are multiplied, then the powers get added keeping the base same. So we get the result as a raised to the power m plus n. Next we have a raised to the power minus m. If we have a negative index or if we have a negative power, we can change it to positive by just reciprocating the base. We had over here a raised to the power minus m. So I just reciprocated the base, that is 1 upon a to the power m. Also it can be written as 1 upon a raised to the power m. Next we have a raised to the power m divided by a raised to the power n. That is, the two are being divided, the base is same and the terms are divided. Then what we do is, in division we say that the powers get subtracted, we get a raised to the power m minus n is equals to, I have written 1 upon a raised to the power n minus m. Now how am I getting n minus m, or why I am writing 1 upon a raised to the power n minus m? This is the condition when we say m is less than n. This condition holds when m is less than n. Next we have a raised to the power m, and this whole term is again raised to the power n. So what do we do over here is taking the base as a and multiplying the two powers, that is m cross n, or we can write a is equals to a raised to the power mn. Next we have, if we have two terms together that are being multiplied and are in a bracket and are raised to a certain index, then the power is being distributed in both the terms. That is, ab raised to the power n can be written as a raised to the power n multiplied by b raised to the power n. Next we have a raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 will reduce to 1. Next we have am is equals to an. A raised to the power m is equals to a raised to the power n, where a is not equal to 1, then we say m is equals to n. If the base is same, the powers can be equated, that is, they can be equalized. Next we have a raised to the power n is equals to b raised to the power n. Now the base is not same, but the powers are the same. Also provided that the power is not equal to 0, then we say that a is equals to b. Next we have a upon b whole raised to the power n. Again, as in multiplication, we distributed the power on both the numbers. Similarly, in division, we will distribute the powers to the numerator and the denominator, that is a raised to the power n upon b raised to the power n, given the condition b is not equal to 0. These all laws you have already studied in the earlier classes. In this chapter, the new concept that you are going to study is that the power of the number or the power of the term is a fractional power, or you say is a rational power. Let us understand this. If we say under root a and n is written outside, so this is how can you understand this? We call it as nth root of a. Here, the root sign that you are seeing, that is this sign, is called the radical sign. In the language of exponents, we write nth root of a is equals to a raised to the power 1 upon n. Over here, we see that the power is a fractional term. We can understand this with an example. In particular, we have studied about the cube roots and square roots in the earlier classes. So let's have an example from that concept. Over here, you can see that I have written cube root 8. Root sign 3 outside and 8 inside. This can be written in the exponential form. This can be written as 8 raised to the power 1 by 3. Now, that was easy to understand. Let us understand what is 8 raised to the power 2 by 3. There are two ways to understand this. The first one is we break the powers. 2 by 3, I am breaking it as 2 multiplied by 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 I have taken inside the bracket and 2 is kept outside. When you solve this, it gives you cube root of 8 whole square. Cube root of 8 is 2 and the power outside is square. So 2 square gives you 4. This was the first method. Second, what you do is, now I am taking square inside and taking 1 by 3 power outside. When you take the square inside, that is 8 square whole power 1 by 3. 8 square is written as 64 whole power 1 by 3. 1 by 3 power means cube root. Cube root of 64 means we'll do the factors of 64 and make the triplet among the terms that we obtain. So the triplet obtained is 4. That is, the cube root of 64 is 4, or you say when you cube 4 or you multiply 4 3 times, the result would be 64. Therefore, we can say if a is greater than 0, is a real number, and m and n are integers, n is greater than 0, m and n have no common factors except 1, then a raised to the power m upon n is equals to a raised to the power 1 by n whole power m. That could be written as nth root of a whole power m, or we can also write it as, first we'll take the power m power, the whole number power with a and the fractional power outside, that is nth root of a raised to the power m. The concept will become more clearer once you solve some examples and do the questions. So let's solve some examples, children. The first example over here we have is 32 raised to the power 1 by 3 multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power 2 by 3 is equals to 4 raised to the power k. Find k. Now, when we are solving the questions based on exponents, what we have to do is first equate all the bases to a similar number. That is, you should convert all the numbers with same basis so that we can apply the law of indices that we have just studied above. So let's solve this. 32 raised to the power 1 by 3. Now I see 1 by 2 is kept over here and the other side I am having 4. The simplest number I can see over here is 2. I am breaking each term in 2. 32 can be broken up as 2 raised to the power 5. 1 by 2 it was written. I just reciprocated it. My power gets converted into a negative sign. that is 2 raised to the power minus 2 by 3. On the right hand side it was 4 raised to the power k. I splitted 4 as 2 square and whole power k. Now I can see that each term has been reduced with the base 2. You can easily observe over here that each base is converted as 2. Now using the law of indices, we can say that since the base is same in left hand side, the powers get added, that is 2 raised to the power 5 by 3 plus minus 2 by 3. Minus 2 by 3 we obtained by reciprocating is equals to 2 raised to the power 2k. Solving the left hand side, 2 raised to the power 5 by 3 minus 2 by 3 is equals to 2 raised to the power 2k. Solving the fractional power over here, I get 2 raised to the power 3 by 3 is equals to 2 raised to the power 2k. Since the base is same, by the law, the powers get equated, that is powers become equal. So we get 1 is equals to 2k, and from here we derive that k is equals to 1 by 2. Next we have evaluate. Evaluate means you have to solve it and give the simplified answer for this exponential function. We have 16 raised to the power 3 by 4, 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 to the power minus 1 multiplied by 3 raised to the power 0. We can easily observe here that 16, what I'm doing is 3 by 4 I'm breaking it up, 3 into 1 by 4. So I have 1 by 4 I'm taking inside, because on the the terms which are after the plus sign, they're having 2. So I would like that I should break 16 in the factors of 2. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 16 1 by 4 in one bracket and cubing it, and after the plus sign I have 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 raised to the power minus 1. To convert the power into a positive number, I will reciprocate it. So I get 2 multiplied by 2, 3 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So I get 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Now solving the first bracket, 16 power 1 by 4. That means I have to factorize 16 in such a way that I get a quadrant over there. That is, I get a number that is occurring 4 times. So we all know that if you multiply 2 4 times, we'll get 16. So 16 1 by 4 can be written as 2. Outside the bracket, the power was 3. So 2 raised to the power 3 plus 4. Now this 4 is coming from this side. 2 into 2 into 1. 2 cube is 8 plus 4 is equals to 12. That is the required answer. Next we have 1 upon 4 raised to the power minus 2 minus 3 multiplied by 8 raised to the power 2 by 3 into 4 raised to the power 0 plus 9 upon 16 whole power minus 1 by 2. Let us simplify this first. 1 upon 4 raised to the power minus 2. This can be written as 4 whole square minus. Now I know that 8 is a cube root of 2. So taking 1 by 3 with 8 and then squaring it afterwards. 4 raised to the power 0 is 1. 9 upon 16 was with a negative power. So I reciprocated it, 16 upon 9 whole power 1 by 2. Solving it further, 4 square is 16. 3 multiplied by 8 ka cube, that is 2. And squaring it, 2 square plus 16 upon 9 to the power 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means square root. So we will take the square root of 16 by 9. Square root of 16 is 4 and 9 is 3. So I get the simplified term as 16 minus 12 plus 4 by 3. Now simplifying this further, I get 16 by 3 as the required answer. Next we have a raised to the power m raised to the power m minus 1 upon m curly bracket. Again we have a power outside, that is 1 upon m plus 1. Now Solving it from the small bracket first, I had a raised to the power m. To this power, I'm having a expression that is m minus 1 upon m. So I'm solving m minus 1 upon m first. We take the LCM as m. So I get m square minus 1 to the whole power 1 upon m plus 1. This remains as it is. We are just doing the working inside the curly bracket, which gives you what? M multiplied by m square minus 1 upon m. So m and m are cancelled out. I am only left with m square minus 1 curly bracket power 1 upon m plus 1. Now m square minus 1 can be further expanded as m minus 1 into m plus 1. Outside the bracket, the power is 1 upon m plus 1. Taking this m plus 1 inside, m minus 1, m plus 1 upon m plus 1. So m plus 1 cancelled out. We are getting a raised to the power m minus 1. That is the required answer. Next we have x plus y raised to the power minus 1 multiplied by x raised to the power minus 1 plus y raised to the power minus 1 is equals to x raised to the power p, y raised to the power q. This is a given condition. We have to prove p plus q plus 2 is equals to 0. Now solving the left hand side first. Now by solving the left hand side, I observe over here x plus y raised to the power minus 1. This can be written as 1 upon x plus y. Second bracket, we have x to the power minus 1, y to the power minus 1. This can be written as 1 upon x plus 1 upon y. Solving the brackets, I get solving the second bracket, taking xy as the LCM, I get x plus y upon xy. Xy from the second bracket is cancelled by the xy in the first bracket. So I am left with 1 upon xy is equals to, the right hand side is being copied as it is, that is x raised to the power p, y raised to the power q. Now converting it, since we need to get x and y terms separately, so I can write x raised 1 upon xy can be written as x raised to the power minus 1, y raised to the power minus 1 is equals to x raised to the power p, y raised to the power q. Taking x on one side and y on the other side, I get x raised to the power minus 1 upon x raised to the power p is equals to y raised to the power q upon y raised to the power minus 1. Now since the terms are in division and the base is same, so we'll subtract the powers. On subtraction of the powers, I get x raised to the power minus 1 minus p, and I get y raised to the power q minus minus 1. On simplifying this, we get x raised to the power minus 1 minus p, y raised to the power q plus 1. Over here, we are using the identity a raised to the power n is equals to b raised to the power n. When a is not equal to b and n is not equal to 0, that means the powers over here cannot be equal to, we'll equate the powers and put them equal to 0. Minus 1 minus p, that was the power of x, q plus 1 was the power of y. So I am putting both the powers equal to 0 by the law I have just written above. From the law, or using that law, I obtain this expression. Now solving this expression further, shifting all the terms to one side, that is minus 1 minus p is equals to q plus 1 is equals to 0. So shifting the terms all together, I get p plus q plus 2 is equals to 0. That was to be proved in the question. Next we have proof that root sign AB root XA upon XB into root BC XB upon XC into root CA XC upon XA. The question looks very complicated but can be solved in just two simple steps. So what we do is, we know nth power of A can be written as A raised to the power 1 by n. Same concept we are using over here. The very first step we do is, the law that we are going to use is nth power of a is equals to 1a raised to the power 1 upon n. This is what I have done over here. Since it was root ab, so I have taken the root ab as 1 upon ab in the power. So for the first expression is xa upon xb whole power 1 upon ab. Next we have xb upon xc whole power 1 upon bc. Next xc upon xa whole power 1 upon ca. Taking the powers inside with the powers that are already present inside the bracket. When I take the first, I'm solving it, you can read the other ones. xa multiplied by 1 upon ab. X, the denominator is x raised to the power b multiplied by 1 upon ab. In the numerator, a cancels out. I am left with x raised to the power 1 upon a. In the denominator, b cancels out. I am left with x raised to the power 1 upon a. Similarly, I can solve the other two terms, and in each term, I am getting x 1 by c upon x 1 by b in the second one, x raised to the power 1 by a upon x raised to the power 1 by c in the third term. Now, when you observe these terms, we see that x raised to the power 1 by b can be cancelled out from the second term, that is x raised to the power 1 by b. X raised to the power 1 by a cancelled by x raised to the power 1 by a. X raised to the power 1 by c cancelled by x raised to the power 1 by c. So we are left with 1, that was the RHS which we had to prove. You can solve the second question as well. The solution is done for you. You can easily read it out and you can easily understand just the simple laws that we have used over here. Now let me discuss a new concept question, that is solve for x. We have over here is under root 3 by 5 raised to the power 1 minus 2x is equals to 417 by 27. In the left hand side, we observe we have a square root sign. So to remove the square root sign, I will take the power as a fractional number. Over here, I have 3 by 5 raised to the power 1 minus 2x whole power 1 by 2. The number present in the right hand side can be simplified as 125 upon 27. Now, simplifying it so that I can compare the powers together, I need to equate the bases first. 125 upon 27 can easily be observed that 125 is the cube of 5 and 27 is the cube of 3. So I have written it as 5 upon 3 whole cube. In the left hand side, I have 3 upon 5. So I am reciprocating the right hand side. I get 3 upon 5 raised to the power minus 3. In the left hand side, I had got 1 minus 2x and 1 by 2 was outside. I just brought 1 by 2 inside, that is multiplying it by 1 minus 2x. So I get the term as 1 minus 2x upon 2. Now, in the next step, after reciprocating the right hand side, we see that the base is same. When the base is same, I can equate the powers. That is, I get 1 minus 2x upon 2 is equals to minus 3. Solving this, I get x is equals to 7 upon 2. Similar concept, again to find the value of x, I have solved one more question. You can go through it and solve it easily, children. Next, we have the concept of solving a next question that is based on solving for x and y together. Earlier, I solved only for x. Now, I have two variables involved in my expression. That is, I have to solve for x and y. So, let's start the question. I have 2 raised to the power x plus 1 is equals to root 32 raised to the power y. This is one expression. The second expression is 81 raised to the power 4 minus x upon 2 minus 27 raised to the power y is equals to 0. First, I'll solve the first expression and then I'll come to the second one. You can easily see over here that 32, we know 32 can be expressed as the different multiples of 2. So we can say that we are writing 32 as 2 raised to the power 5. Whole power is 1 by 2 because we had the square root sign over here. And I'm using a square bracket because there are two powers over here. 1 by 2 from the root sign and y that was already given over here. So I get 2 raised to the power 5 whole power 1 by 2 whole power y. 1 by 2 and 5 I'm multiplying together. So I get 2 raised to the power 5 by 2 whole power y. Now again multiplying the two powers, we are using the law over here is a raised to the power m whole power n. In this case both the powers get multiplied. So the law which we are using here is this only. Again multiplying the two powers, I get 2 raised to the power 5y upon 2. Now both the sides we see the base is same. I will compare the powers. From comparison of the powers, I get a condition x plus 1 is equals to 5y upon 2. This becomes the first equation. Now I need to get a second equation because there are two unknowns. So I need two equations to solve the two unknowns. To obtain the second equation, let's go to the second expression. Over here we see 81 raised to the power 4 minus x by 2 and we have 27 raised to the power y. 81 and 27 can both be expressed as the powers of 3. 81 we can write 3 raised to the power 4 to the whole power that was given in the question 4 minus x by 2. And I'm shifting 27 raised to the power y towards 0 so that I can equate the powers. One on the left hand side and the other on the right hand side. When the base would be same, I will equate the powers. So shifting 27 raised to the power y, 27 can be written as 3 cube to the power y. Now multiplying the powers, in left hand side we have 3 raised to the power 16 minus 2x. 16 minus 2x I am getting by multiplying 4 into 4 minus x by 2. Over here, when you multiply 3 by y, we get 3 raised to the power 3y. The base is same, powers can be equated. 16 minus 2x is equals to 3y. So this becomes equation number 2. Solving 1 and 2. We have already learned how to solve the simultaneous linear equations. Now, how do you solve it? Take the value of one variable from the one expression and put it in the second one. See, from the first, I have calculated 2x plus 2. From the very first expression, I took 2 over here. 2x plus 2 is equals to 5y. 2x is equals to 5y minus 2. Now, I am not calculating x because I can see very easily that in the second equation or the second expression that I have calculated, I am seeing 2x is present over here. So I am directly calculating 2x and will substitute in this. So putting the value of 2x, I get 16 minus bracket 5y minus 2. In place of 2x, I have written 5y minus 2 is equals to 3y. Now this is reduced to a single variable. Solving this, we get y is equals to 18 upon 8. That gives you 9 upon 4. Putting the value of y in the expression over here. So we get the value of x as 37 upon 8. Thank you, children. You can solve the following exercise that is provided to you in the PDF that are based, the exercise is based on all the examples that I have discussed with you. Please do it neatly in your classwork registers.